everybody, this is going to be my event report of the Primals. Day 1. Live in Japan, beyond the shadow. I was actually physically at the Day 1 event that was live streamed and is also available as an archive. And if you haven't watched it and are planning to watch the archive, I strongly recommend watching the archive before this because it was a lot of fun and you should go into it blind, I think. This is kind of my first sort of video like this, so I hope everything goes okay. It's kind of unscripted, so it might be a little rambly. Anyway, so my day started off pretty late. I actually thought I wouldn't need to head out early, but then I realized I thought my pen light was broken, so I thought maybe I could buy one at the goods booth. Unfortunately, the pen light's actually sold out within 30 minutes, and I really regret not buying a new one. But my pen light did work, though it was a little finicky throughout the concert. It took me quite a while to get to Makuhari, but I did notice on Twitter there was lots and lots of trending topics relating to the event. Surprisingly, Nama Moruboru, or I think it was just Moruboru-san. So Moruboru was trending, actually above Hikasen, or Warrior of Light, Wol. Moruboru was wandering around recording things for things like social media, Instagram, and the like, and people were being, oh my gosh, it's Moruboru! And they were getting to see him live in the flesh as he wandered around recording things. Anyway, eventually I got there with about an hour to spare, and so I decided I was gonna go grab some konbini food in the Makuhari. I grabbed some melon pan, grabbed a seat, and just kind of sat down and ate for a little bit. One of the things that I remember spotting in the lobby sort of area was that one person, the back of their shirt had a Japanese positions macro, which got a good laugh out of me. But after that, I went over, and about 30 minutes before doors open, I went and lined up. Not maybe one of my smartest decisions because I wouldn't say it was hot, but it was very sunny, and so because you were standing out in the sun, it felt really hot really quickly. So those 30-ish minutes standing there in the bright sun was not fun. Oh, it was not fun. But thankfully, I got in pretty early. The line actually ended up wrapping all the way down, practically down an entire flight of stairs. It was a really long line just to get in for the doors. The doors opened right on time, no issues. We did have to sign into a, what's it called? COVID tracking app, which actually the two guys in front of me had to step aside and download it. I was nice and prepared, so all I had to do was see that I had it open and check my temperature, and then I handed them the tickets. They were actually filming the people going in when I was going into getting my ticket ripped, so who knows, maybe I'll be on some video. Probably not. When you get in, there was the giant panel, which Silken posted as well. The Primals actually posing in front of it. It has their signatures in the upper left, and I didn't notice it at the time, but this is the first time in a while that I've seen the flowers, the flower stands. I didn't see them actually on my way in. They were on the left-hand side, and I went to the right, but I saw pictures on Twitter, so I went back, and after the show, I went and took a bunch of pictures. I was really, really impressed by the Uruchimatsure flower design. I thought that's really clever. It's so good. I don't know if these are mostly corporate flower displays, or if any of these are actually from fans. But it really was nice to see them because I've been to a couple of Hatsune Miku concerts since COVID, and there just haven't been as many of these, and it's a little bit sad. I always thought these were just such great displays and a way for fandoms to kind of like celebrate even if they can't go to the event. So it was really nice to see these again. Anyway, we get in. I'm actually down in the arena, so that was really hype. That was like actually really hype. I was like, oh, I'm in the arena. I'd actually never been in this part of Makuhari before. But so I was like, wow, this is really big. So I look for where my seat is, and I'm actually really close. I was actually really close. I was really, really surprised. I was just behind the first block on not the far right, but the second from the right. So we actually got a pretty good view. I was really, really excited. After a little bit, this is part you could see on the archive. Yoshida-san kind of walks on in with, I think he had his sunglasses on too. Like we wouldn't know it's him. And I remember we all kind of had this quiet like, whoa! To which Yoshi went, shh! Like giving us the shush motion because we're not supposed to be shouting. But we all kind of waved, and I don't think anybody took pictures, or if they did, I haven't seen any because we get in trouble. After that, I'm just kind of realizing during the event, it was really hot in there, and there was like this, what I thought was like haze or like mist or something. Eventually I'd find out it was probably smoke from the pyrotechnics that they use later. But I didn't know that at the time. I just knew it felt really hot, like really humid. That said, eventually they turned down the lights just a little bit and we get Emmett. Emmett! You can't really see it. They didn't show you guys on the archive the full video. It was subtitled, but basically Emmett is like, what, why did you call me? Why did you call me? What is this? Makuhari Messe? What? Why? And then we never hear Hythlo, but he's like, Hythlo Deus, you want me to read what? Basically. And then he very, very grumpily reads the rules, no shouting and prevention for COVID and yada, yada, yada. Don't be stupid kind of things. And then they did turn us back to a little bit before they started the performance. I do remember we heard a little bit of guitars, and me and the girls to my right were just like, woo! Very simple beings. Anyway, so we started off with Ruby Weapon. It was Endwalker, sorry. It was started off with Endwalker. They actually had this sheer curtain in front where they projected the Endwalker shortcut trailer, and honestly it was just really weird seeing the animation without any of the voices. Besides that, after that, I think it was Ruby Weapon, and I honestly, this is a disappointment for me with a lot of the Primals concerts. I'm fine with them having the backing vocals, but it's really noticeable that I can barely hear Koji. I can hear Soken really, really well most of the time, even Gun, and like when they all work together. But something about Koji, I don't know. You can hear him sometimes, but it was particularly true with Ruby Weapon. You can't really hear Koji over especially the singing part, the choral part. It was hard to hear him over the chorus backing that they gave him. That said, I still love them saying, "Oh, eigo umai." Good at English, Koji. That said, a bit that wasn't translated. Of course, they made a direct like, "Don't shout," and Soken was joking about, well, it doesn't really matter for you guys at home. You could like smack a beer on your head and go crazy. It doesn't really matter. Which was a hilarious image. But of course, I think the best part, and you can hear a little bit of it later, where even Soken was just like, but I mean, you guys, if things happen, things happen. If we accidentally have a little bit of a reaction. But yeah, obviously his concern was, no intention to shout, to please. And it was pretty funny with his whole like, it's a rock concert. You join however you can sit. I don't really care. The sound will reach anyway. Our band is freaking loud. Lamau. And what's the name of the band again? And Koji being, oh, Koji, English. They talked a bit about how Goon is about level 83, 84, and how basically all the videos are spoilers for him. Oh no, Goon-san! Hopefully, and he joked about how he doesn't really look at the videos very much. He's like, I don't know who they are, man. And, you know, what is it? During the intro for Metal, they kind of had their whole band introduction. I think it was before Metal, you know, Soken was just like, you know, be like warriors of light who've had their voices stolen. I suppose that's true. If you didn't get it on the archive, Gun was making a very, 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 very terrible dad joke. He was like, where do you live? And the kanji that shows up is house, home, which isn't wrong, but it also is read ye, and it sounds like yay. It's so stupid. Where did you come from? Yay! Where are you gonna go after this? Yay! Stream viewers, where are you? Yay! It was so stupid. It was so stupid, I loved it. Also, I think it was before Metal, someone dropped a Japanese savage macro in the chat. I don't think you could see it on the archive, but me and I heard a couple of other people laughing at it and commenting on it. It was absolutely great. It was hilarious. Honestly, it was super, super painful not to be able to do those callbacks for Metal, for Oblivion, for later Rise, for Sephiroth, for Titan, just not being able to do, like, the callbacks. It was so painful. I did, like, it was pretty funny, that after Oblivion, Soken kind of joking about, I was like, we're all, like, over 50. I hope it's okay if we take a breathe. Oh, and everybody's like, yay! Pachi, 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 pachi. Daijoubu, daijoubu. And all of that. No worries. Don't mind mahjong. To which Soken was like, wow, you guys, you aren't even gonna be like, no, say more! Y'all are so nice! And, they're just kind of talking. They do a little bit of, you know, MC stuff, and at one point Soken just kind of like jokes like, y'all can sit down. We're just old men talking. And I don't know if the people at the theater noticed it, not the theater, I shouldn't call it theater, at the concert hall noticed it, but there was that one dude spamming watermelons are berries. I was thoroughly confused by it, but I don't know if anybody else noticed it. Anyway, so after that, Soken goes on a whole little thing about, like, this is his weakest song. When I made this song, you know, the key doesn't really suit me, so, like, I can't sing it, and like, sa, yeah. And I think it was it Eikichi? Who went, you still can't, and to this day, he still can't sing it. And Soken saying, just somehow, I don't know how, but just somehow, listen to the song, but not my singing. And after that event, that was for Titania, by the way. Eventually after that, there was one thought that came to my mind when they played Sophia. It was that I have not seen the Sophia intro cutscene in a really long time. And I was like, wow, I don't recognize parts of this video. That's so weird. After that, we summoned Uematsu at the call of Emmett. There were actually a lot of whispers around me in the hall. Like, wait, so no way. Is that really Uematsu? Is that no way? They did really good camera work. That everybody was like, obviously, like what Emmett said, like, it has to be Uematsu, but like, no way, right? And then there was like whispering, and the camera work and the lighting and everything was done just the right way to keep Uematsu hidden. And there was kind of like this like thought around me, like, it was like, is it? I mean, it has to be, right? And there was like this slow, like, cautious pen waving, like, because it was a slower song at the start, right? And we're like, do we wave our pen lights? Do we do this? And then you can hear it a little bit in the archive, but there was a very audible whoa reaction when he pulled his hood down. Personally, one thing that I noted when I watched the archive is that a lot of the higher notes, the higher pitched bits, got really drowned out when I was in the theater because it was very, very bass heavy. I don't think either version was bad. I was just like, oh, I don't remember this from yesterday when I was watching the archive. The rev up, personally, I think the rev up that with parts that were in Big Bridge were just really cool. I really, really liked those parts. I think there were also a couple bits where we were unsure which colors to use on our pen lights. But it was definitely a really, really fun set of additional pieces. I was chuckling quite a bit every time Koji tried to step in to translate Uematsu, and Uematsu just kind of going off in an old man ramble. I think it might have been around this part, according to Twitter, that Soken... Well, actually, it's probably a couple parts, but apparently Soken does go off script a couple of times, shouting, it's like, hey, I wonder if we could hear Yoshi P from over here. They're just like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, we can hear it. Stick to the script, Soken. It probably was one of the bit later ones when Koji would be translating, they probably decided not to do it on the other days. Even though most of the audience obviously was going to be speaking Japanese, there was some audible laughter at Koji's delivery of money, which was pretty funny. Then we got the bit where they did Insatiable and To the Edge, which they talked about including videos that players submitted. And personally, I think my favorite little bit that you can see on the archive is those two characters that do little fist bumps together. I thought that was really cute. And you can't see it on the archive, I'm really sad. But my video did get included in the early intro parts. It's just my Lala doing cheer on, I think it is, the blue one, because I forgot until about an hour to a couple hours before the deadline. I'm like, oh, I want to submit something, and I really thought they were going to include it, and it's a shame that it wasn't on the archive because I really wanted to take a picture of it, but oh well, しょうがないね. Anyway, following those, they eventually talked about the acoustic version of Old Shoreland, and if you've bought the CD, you can actually hear that there's a teensy tiny little bit of conversation before and in the in-between when they're counting off. And they did mention that basically every single one of those takes was different. They did 18 takes, I think he said, and they were all like, I think they said they were different. So, and it was absolutely funny because they kind of started to do it again, right? Where he's like doing some little goofy like counting off, just loud enough where he's far away from the mic, but you can hear him doing it. It got quite a bit of a chuckle from the rest of us. After that, eventually, we got to Long Fall. They had their pro dancers this time. And I remember also the girl to my right was doing a very minimal version with just her arms and pen lights to do the Long Fall dance. And like, I applaud you. I wish I knew it. I felt bad. I tried to do a little bit, but I kept feeling like I was gonna hit the guy to my left. I really thought it was cool that the pen light colors for Long Fall is basically just green, red, and blue with a slight leaning towards blue because of the twinning being kind of bluish. But it was really cool to see like everybody having the shirt colors. It was after this, Soken did and stand and bow, and even though I'm a gaijin that has never gone to Japanese schools ever in my life, I knew what to do. I've seen anime. and Koji goes, oh, this is not important, don't worry about that. And then joking about how Koji was a teacher before. After that, they were on like kind of the last 3 songs, and I don't think it was audible in the recording, but there were some audible like, oh, reactions. It was quiet, sad sounds. And I didn't realize it until literally I was watching the archive what Koji meant by saying that the next songs will be lit in more ways than one. I cannot believe I completely forgot he said that by the time we saw the pyrotechnics. Anyway, they were saying that they were songs that Koji wanted to sing, and they're like, oh yeah, what songs were they again? And Koji goes, yeah, what songs were they? I did actually hear behind me or around me, people was like, Rise, 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 because they really wanted Rise. And I think honestly everybody assumes that the Primals really enjoys performing Rise. Probably because it's just so much fun to do the time stop. Even though, yeah, it's like that long time stop. I think they really enjoy performing it, and I think the audience really enjoys it as well. And it's just a shame that we can't do the Rise Up back to them right now. Anyway, I suddenly realized why the entire hall was really hot when Titan started and the pyrotechnics happened. I was like, oh, that's why it's so hot. Anyway, Titan was a lot of fun, but it really hurt not to be able to go Banon overdose, Banon overdose, Banon overdose, Titan! Back to them. It sucked, it sucked, it sucked so hard. The encore was long, and I honestly got tired of clapping my hands, that my hands hurt, and I just started, I just sat for a little bit. I just sat for a little bit. I really miss being able to shout, encore, 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 because, like, that was just so much. My hands hurt doing clapping encores, man. Thank you, chat, from the live stream, for doing the encore chat for us. Thank you. I think I heard from one of the people around me as well. They're like, oh, encore. I was like, no, it's just written with an E. I heard them commenting on the English encore being written in there. Anyway, we got our triple Alexander encore. Hell yeah! It was great. That said, the jump scare poppers at the end of Exponential Entropy, I could have done without. I really could have done. I could have done without those. Me, the girl in front of me, and the girls to my right of me, we all could have really done without those. All of us jumped. Like, it was really loud. You can't. It was really loud where we were. It was very startling. It was really cool, but I was not okay for a moment. Anyway, yeah, it was really rough to not be able to go rise up every time with Alexander, and just as Soken said, hopefully the next time we can shout to our heart's content, and I really hope I can be there for that as well. Anyway, it was such a great concert. We had to slowly leave the concert hall, as they do for COVID, so that everybody doesn't all rush out at once and keeps things orderly. But on the upside, we got to notice that the booth right there was also where I think Kate-san was, Morble-san was, some of the other dev teams whose names I've forgotten. But most importantly, the one that stood out the most to me was Ishikawa-san, because the block was called. She could leave, and she's just excitedly waving at us from the booth, seated. She's just like, oh, bye. She was so sweet. She was so cute. It was so adorable. Ishikawa-san, please protect her so much. She deserves so much. Anyway, I did hear as we got outside, quite a lot of us went, Samu! Cold! Because it was. The hall definitely felt very, very hot as we finished up. It was kind of nice, honestly, the bits of breaks that they had, because it was so hot in there. Honestly, those were a couple moments where I could catch my breath and slow and kind of bring the temperature down just a little bit because people weren't moving. It was really nice. Anyway, overall, it was such a great event, and I'm glad that I was able to go. And hopefully there'll be more of these in the future. And hopefully next time we'll be allowed to shout and scream and chant, and it'd just be really nice. I really hope so. And yeah, hopefully next time I'll be able to be there. So there's one small thing that I do want to talk about that was kind of a bit of a bother to me, that I'd also like for the dev team to hopefully maybe understand a little bit clearer. So I'm actually going to speak this in Japanese, but I'll subtitle myself down below in the subtitles where they belong. これはちょっと話したいことがあります。先行抽選についてですね。私今日本で住んでいますが海外アカウント、海外スクエニックスアカウントが持ってます。日本引っ越した前に作りましたアカウントですね。でもこのアカウントは応募ページがロードができますが、まあルールを読んだらこのアカウントはダメでしょ。なんかe ショップ、スクエニックス e ショップで払わないとアカウントの住所へチケットを送りますと、まあ私このルールを読むと、まあこのアカウントはダメでしょうね。日本アカウントを使わないといけませんですね。この状況はちょっと私にとってダメかな。正直エラーが出たらまあしょうがないですね。日本アカウントだけですね。だから次回先行抽選について海外アカウントはダメだったらエラーを出てください。まあもちろん私も行きたいのですが応募ページがロードしたらなんかちょっとだけ希望があったからだからなんか絶望になるその希望が絶望になる可能性がありますだからお願いです。まあもちろんできれば他の先行抽選海外のアカウントのために日本のイベントを行くことができますのために特別な先行抽選を作ればいいと思いますが、まあもちろん今の状況がそれはダメですね。でも海外アカウントはダメだったらこのアカウントは応募できません。エラーを開けてください。はい、以上です。Thank you for watching. If you'd like my kind of stuff, if you'd like to see more of my Final Fantasy stuff, you can check out my recent Final Fantasy 14 video, which is probably going to be over here in this corner with my static. This corner. Thank you for listening to my thoughts, my opinions, and my reactions. And if you like to listen to me chitter chatter about various stuff, I like to stream Monday through Thursday, Japan Standard Time, 8 a.m. to about 3 p.m. on average. It's a little bit different each day. I talk a lot. I play a lot of Final Fantasy 14 over on my Twitch, and I also draw, and I play some variety games on Mondays as well. And if you'd like to support the channel, my Ko-fi is in the description, and I also take commissions for art and stuff. So hopefully, maybe next time, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!